I organize this event to make sure and to inform people that poverty in Africa still exists. My story is not unique. A lot of African kids are still suffering, going through the same situation, even worse circumstances, more than what I went through 15 years ago. So I want people to know that a lot of kids are in need of our help, that we could come and help and give them access to quality education, because we believe in those kids. My inspiration and motivation comes from my personal life experience, because I was raised and born in a poor family, raised by my single mother in a rural area where attending primary school was a little difficult.
Ik ken Brigitte als een hele getalenteerde, enthousiaste, gemotiveerde leerling. En ik vind het heel erg leuk dat zij nu deze stichting is begonnen om getalenteerde Afrikaanse leerlingen een goede kans te geven op een mooie plaats in de Afrikaanse maatschappij. Mijn advies aan haar en aan Joshua is om de plannen zo concreet mogelijk te maken. Dus te beginnen met 6 kinderen, 3 jongens, 3 meisjes. Te kijken wat deze kinderen nodig hebben. Dat ook in geld uit te drukken, op de website te zetten. Zodat Nederlanders en wie dan ook kunnen kijken wat zij aan deze kinderen kunnen geven in geld of in hulp. Zodat deze stichting een succes zal worden.
This is an effort to sort of assist kids from poor backgrounds to access secondary education in Africa, and we are starting in Rwanda. We think that education is a good entry point that will create an empowered citizenry in Africa. We believe that it is important that children from poor communities, especially in rural areas, have an equal chance as kids from the cities, from well-to-do families, to also have access to secondary education. I think the unique point about this initiative is that it involves the whole community. We have a program of mentors and coaches who are going to help these kids as role models. We will involve the parents in creating capacity for them to contribute partly to this scholarship, because we are not providing 100% scholarship. We want to enable the parents to play a part in the education of their children.
Mijn naam is Sjaak Koom. Ik vind het een fantastisch initiatief, maar ik denk dat het heel goed zou zijn om het ook naar de sponsors toe concreet te maken met de kosten die het hier betreft om 1 kind van de middelbare school eerste jaar naar het laatste jaar te brengen.
We Africans who have the possibilities and the chance to be here in Europe or in America, please do not forget our younger brothers and sisters, our children, our future leaders, who will help to eradicate the poverty of Africa. Please contribute. We know we can do it. I do believe that we African, we can do it by ourselves. The only thing we need to come together and unite our effort.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mrs. Brigitte Mugiraneza, the founder and the chief executive officer of UWAF. Mesdames et messieurs, veuillez accueillir très chaleureusement Brigitte Mugiraneza.
Today we stand here to celebrate the courage and commemorate the lives of the African children, basically in Soweto, who had the courage to go and protest on the street, demanding a better education. Today, as we read statistics years ago, a lot of children in Africa don't even go to school, leave alone having a better education. And as what we can learn from those children who are just fighting so hard to get an education in South Africa during the apartheid, we can learn that the courage they have, and that we here in Europe, we can even do better. So what we can learn from them is like the changes we want to see. It can only come from ourselves.
I will never forget. For those like my mother, who just one generation before me were told that expectations of pursuing a higher education were unrealistic, and that people who looked like her would be better suited for something a little less impressive, maybe domestic.
I congratulate Brigitte Mugiraneza and her colleagues at the United Wisdom of Africa Foundation on their remarkable contribution towards enabling underprivileged, young, bright and talented Rwandan children to access quality education.
This African Day is being celebrated since, I think, June 1991 in commemoration of children who were killed on the street in Soweto in 1976. Those children were killed while, I think, demanding their rights to access to education.
I'm profoundly honored to have been invited to join tonight's commemoration in honor of the multitudes of African children who are yearning for peace, freedom from want, disease and ignorance. Millions of children in Africa live with some sort of disability. These children are subject to discrimination, violence and neglect. This scourge must be brought to an end. We need to urge our governments to provide these children with access to all facilities and services they need in order to grow up healthily and live up to their full potential like every other child in the world. While most African countries have adopted legislation and strategies to respond to the needs of children with disabilities, many countries still lag behind in terms of the implementation and the allocation of resources. Rwanda stands out as one of the few countries that have invested significantly in specialized education for children with disabilities. In this regard, the number of children benefiting from special education in Rwanda increased from 632 in 2000 to 17,000 in 2010. This is a remarkable achievement that needs an applause.
18 years ago, we had a tragic genocide which affected children. In fact, among over 1 million people who died, the half of them were children, school students who lost their life. Rwanda lost a whole generation in this tragedy. So that's why today Rwanda is investing very much in the education of their children. And the projects and the program by UWAF are very much appreciated in Rwanda, very much useful. So I want to emphasize that.
Many governments have implemented policies that promise universal access to education. But access does not necessarily equate to quality. Education is the key ingredient for community and economic development.
UWAF is one of the organizations that can make that happen, and that's why they have my full support. I also support the ING Chances for Children program that aims to send 1 million children to school by 2015. It makes me proud being part of such an organization. And now I would like to show you the real Dinesh, my son. Thank you very much. I would like to thank Brigitte.
This is your first gala event. Let it be the first, but not the last. So we hope we can be part of your association, your foundation for a very, very long time, because I think it's really extremely important. I will do some quotes, and then I'll tell you a story about Uganda. Don't be surprised about my white face. I am a Ugandan in heart and soul, although I wasn't born in Europe. But I have been associated with Uganda for a very, very long time. I would like to just give you one sentence of a person that I greatly admire, the former president of South Africa, Nelson Mandela. He said, there can be no keener revelation of a society's soul than the way in which it treats its children.
I really thank you so much for coming, and I really hope today you will get inspired and also getting motivated and to motivate others to create a better future for the African child. So thank you so much. So and enjoy the evening, and thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup.